Hello there, this is Slam Old Ben, and I'm going to try the event task force missions here for the corruption event thing, which has Nicole DeBoer pretty much, and well, I don't know exactly how it'll be. It's like, I haven't done all the Delta things yet, so I'm stuck here a little bit anyway. I got past one of the Vodwar things, which was a real pain, the Alliance one, but yeah, there's still all this to go. So let's see though. About getting this done, the new episode Curse of Phrygia, if I can.
I repeat, this is Captain Esri Dax. I'm calling on you at the recommendation of Director Hugh from the Borg Cooperative. The species known as the Chimerans have taken over the Midas Array. I am stationed on the array, but all attempts at first contact and diplomacy have failed. The Chimerans are hostile and have corrupted the array's comms. I repeat, cannot abandon my post. Backup is required
So yep, here we go. Let's try that.
You can count on my support and guidance.
So, Curse of Phrygia. We're going to toil and trouble. Hopefully there won't be tribbles. But yep, here we are. I might be a little bit out of my league on this, so I'll probably be failing quite often. There can be only none. Pretty much is how it goes. Winning on the edge of tomorrow as we know it. Alright, so begin Curse of Phrygia. Or fear, whatever. I don't know exactly the pronunciation. It's like a word I should know. Phrygia.
Thanks for answering my call. Comms still heavily disrupted. I repeat, do you copy?
Yes, I do. Just a second though, let's make sure that we have something here. Shields, battery, and those are better, so whatever. Onward to the joy. So we have something there just in case we have a battle. I copy, Captain. Your signal is weak but readable. Are you here without a ship?
No time to explain. I recommend yellow alert. The Chimerans have placed beacons in the system to summon more of their kind.
We'll deal with the beacons.
Clear the system and stay alert. Those beacons are emitting a powerful psionic signal.
Oh crap. Well, thanks for letting me know now. So, what will that...
Screech, squirm. The Genresi feast on the thrill of your despair. Your vessel will be absorbed, devoured, every piece of matter consumed.
Well, how about I don't have that happen and you get 50 instead? That would be ideal for me anyway. Okay, another fire at will. Would be probably good. So far not doing this quite yet, but this is just the early stages of this type of mission. Very cool array though. Forget which episode of TNG it reminds me of. But I think it was the one where they had the multiverse like thing. With all the Enterprises showing up. That was annoying. A little bit. Here, have some more plasma. Sure, some Poncho Cafe. Extra pictures. Can we fire at that yet? Alright, let's see what we can do. Go. Another thing there. What the heck? Probably should have saved that for when the other thing was It's been a while since I had a textbook on like Phrygia mountain rates. Most of my books say it's totally half price when you need to buy ramen. Like my ex-wife and I have got to live in. Whatever though. Onward to the game. Alright, so more stuff here. Engine battery and what else? Tetron pulse generator. Nice if I only had Tetron beams, I'm sure. High frequency boom means some boom. Up. Under R&D and beams you can get the batteries for those. You just need titanium and something else. Yeah, this is a little slow. Pick up next. Yeah, some of the stressing buttons, the press button, so here's one. Some punches with Faye as well. Probably best not to go right into the beam, but let's see what happens.
Midas array sensors indicate you've destroyed a beacon. Keep it up.
Only 20
The
more
array
to go.
beam is a tri-quantum pulse wave. It's holding that unstable portal open.
We're gonna have to deal with the flash next with all the quantums. Quantum this, quantum that, everything. So quantum doomly doom da doom da doom. So much of the doomly doom da doom. Boom boom doom dee doom. Oh, whatever. Onward to the joy of the next quantum thing of doom. So, yep, here we go. More joy.
Roll to husk. Your vessel will be dissected.
I'm sure you think that's true. I do not care though. No, I do not. I guess what you think will be nothing very shortly. Unless you have a soul, but let's not get into that. I guess we probably not. But who knows? Maybe. Just maybe. But who cares? We're going crispy either way. We'll be a little extra crispy afterwards. More free stuff is free. It's garbage, but it's free. Good game. Way to get everyone going at once a little bit. Toasty. Give them another Titan drift. Nothing to face. A little bit better there. Now sideways so we get more firing directly on them. Because broadside pull out all the things to fire at once. That's this Federation stuff very much so. Battery, there we go. Is there only one more of these idiots? Okay, well, yeah, I guess so. Oh well. Probably should use the overload. Hello, would you like some punches to face? The effects of it in there. And I keep saying that, but it was one of my favorite buffets when I was young. Save the other abilities. It just takes a little while. Sometimes. 5 times. Keep the side of it so we get all the beams
The array
fired.
is picking up on an energy spike originating from the multiversal portal.
The multiversal portal. Yay. Another thing of doom. So there's this over here. Alrighty, onward to the joy. We've got fun and games, so much fun, so much games. So alright. Oh, there we go, cutscene time, step in time. What will it be, a dreadnought?
Borg vessel incoming. Its quantum signature matches our universe, but it's been infected by the Chimerians.
Oh crap.
Rise and twist, ship by ship. Devour, consume.
Well, that's fun. Welcome to Outpost 31 in space.
Feasting, stretching, devouring whole.
Uh-huh. Okay, well, here's some doom at least. Hopefully if there's them, they don't hurt as much. I should have gotten closer before using that up. Oh well, here we go, Phrygia again. I don't have the miracle worker thing yet until we get the whole that thing done. So I should do more swooping or something, right? We're barely making a dent, while they've got us down to 70%. Yay. But we have 2 minutes on miracle working thing. Come on. Try to increase shields a little bit. Oh well. Here we go. We'll probably have to do this on the edge of tomorrow though, right? Good. Good there. Yep. Well, that's fun. Yep. Probably should get a T6 Lexington, but I need the $30 for food rather than that. So, yep, here we go again, onward to respawning until we win. At some point I hope we'll get the fleet's ship marks or whatever it's called, where we get after like tier 6 or something, right? But for now, we just have bringing this thing its plasma pretty much is the joy. Dang it, I threw up out of line. We do have the miracle thing available, but I'd rather not waste it too much. Well, here it goes, so might as well. Let's see, get it to the side and then see about using the overload. 29 seconds on the turret, so it'll probably last less than that time. Word. There we go. More fire. Skip this side before we do the other thing a little bit more. Try to point at it a little bit at least. Oh, for goodness sake. Barely making a dent. And another second tractor being red. There we go, flying again. Yep. Come on. More power to Phrygias. This is like if we did the Borg TFO all by ourselves kind of thing. Put the weapon back on would be nice. But yeah, here's where everyone starts giving me advice to just do all the things right. Get only a single energy type and nothing everything differently. Get all the things that cost real money, but now let's try not to do that way as much. Come on, where to it going? That kind of game is perfect. Down to 90% while we're down to 20. Yep, there we go again. Extra 50. And come on, I'm out of battery power. There we go. Yep, there we go again. So we're down to 90. Let's maybe try to stay at max range and just keep swooping in. See if that does any better there. So max range is 10 kilometers. Right, what would that be? Decameter? Or no? No, that would just be 10 meters. So what would it be for a myriad of meters? Either way, let's try to stay right at max range.
Ship is under attack.
There's my shield again. Probably suggest stick with steam overload. But they're all the way back to 98%. So let's start bringing this to max power. Oh, for goodness sake though. So beam overload, let's see. But they're still retreating our health more than they're retreating theirs, of course. Not entirely certain if we're out of their other range. I do like that digitizer beam though. Take the weapons off on if it could. Let's turn the shields up more. If it actually helps. Getting too close gets us within range of their tractor beams. I guess they have a 5-kilometer limit maybe or something. Somewhere around there. I know that's like it for the mission with DeSoto. But we have to tractor beam their stuff. Let's not get within that range maybe. So let's do this here somewhere. Keep it out 5 kilometers. Oh, there goes my hunter again. And somewhere down. Come on. Fire. I'm ready. Come on. Keep on fire. Looking at it.
Rear shield failing. Right.
Fire! 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 Yeah, it's still getting way too healthy. So we need to get way more damage output. Oh, the joy. Okay, maximum damage output within the limits I have anyway. So probably sticking the fire at will would be better. Go digitize.
Lower shields failing.
Yeah, that happens. 98%. I do like the digitizer effect, but it would be nice if it just kind of disappeared. Oh, the joy. Oh, it goes. Maybe it would be good. This could be like I'm gonna be here all day at this rate. So I need to get a better setup, I guess. The ordeal. Which is how they encourage you to spend real money in the game.
Shields failing.
Yeah. Just leave her away again. Barely gets them down by a single percent. While they're getting obliterated. Oh, good boy. get more room again. Yeah. So we've got to keep our eye on the pulse meter and wait until we get the resets and things. Fix all the things, and we're just barely doing these things. Damage output versus damage output in the game. We have way too much health regeneration, while I have barely relatively. So yeah, probably best to stick with beam overload. 97 it was at, and then raise that full healed again. Flying right next to it does seem to work better if you're dropping it down, but they have a miracle working ability apparently too. So that's the thing. So no matter what I do, it's just going to be like this until I get a better switch basically. Where we get the right build on every single little thing. Well, it's down to 6 for the nanosecond at least. Come on. What the heck? 88 for a moment at least. 85. Will they just miracle worker it again like that? Or do they have a set number of things that they can use? Like other stats and things or something? Oh, there's 2 of those. What the heck? I must be missing something somewhere. I need to go through my abilities again. Come on, fire! Come on! If I go crispy, they'll get full health again, won't they? Well, at least I'll be able to plop out one of the satellites again. Let's see here. Plasma or anti-proton. I've been plopping up the proton. That's probably going to go 50 faster than my satellite. 3 seconds. Okay. Now we'll at least get some damage every time to them, hopefully. Not very much, but at least it's something, you know. Hopefully it'll be enough. Stats versus stats. The game. Their weapons a little bit. 80% for a moment. I think they're working, it's just so little compared to what they have. So I should move down with that. There we go. Oh well. There we go though. Continuing the game. The heavy plasma beam turret's still there somehow. So yay. 5 minutes to go until the next one I can swap out, but it's a little bit more damage out there at least. I almost want to swoop in there and do a jet warp plasma, but that'll probably be a bad choice if I do. Keep remembering to point and scroll the mouse wheel down, because that's where I have fire all weapons on this build. Well, the configuration and things. Oh my word, 4 minutes to do the heal thing. Heal, beam overload again. So still at 80% for the moment. Jeez, just go already. Come on. They do a full heal thing yet again? Yeah, they will, of course. But yeah, this is a bit of a pain. I almost want to swoop in. I want to swoop in and use the jet plasma, because that top weapon is so funny. Yeah, that'll just make my chip crispy. And I'd rather not waste all that effort. Whereas I've been almost getting things here. Just almost at least. Just need to make everything absolutely perfect. Because why not? Okay. 8 seconds on beam overload. Just a little bit. What time is that? Get some more health going. Another beam overload. Heal a little more. Whatever that does. Do all the things. Whatever that does. I know I need to know all the factoids to do everything perfectly, but after a while it is just pressing buttons again. Pretty much. Because more stats, more better, pretty much. Using the order philosophy or something, right? Or was that like, in Sacred Cow Shipyard, something more JAXA, which is the turrets more better? Or something there. So we're down to 74% now. I can just have forward this, right? It would be nice if I had set up everything better here, but I will. We have more buttons and not just a little bit of things. Oh well. More joy. Got me free for a moment there. I think we are eroding away their health points just little by little, but what else do we need to do? Okay, there we have that now again. Come on. More things. Okay, there's that weapon area. There we go. We're at 75. We're at my anyway. Can we do these more? Just have to function good load so we get both that and the acid purifier at the same time. Oh my word. Fire, more health, more duel. Are they getting closer to us? Yeah, very cool Technicolor wormhole thing, I guess. So there's that anyway. Everything's always failing. That's what I excel at. 80% they're back up to. There's 3. Oh my word. For me, 71% at the moment. Oh my word. But we'll get some good targets in there somewhere. Come on. This is where I wish I had the twinkling lights crap. That would be nice to have a max out thing that works like the disruptors with adding frequency buffs. My word. Just go crispy already. Well, at least we haven't gotten doomed yet. Again. Very much. Just have to keep pressing all the buttons. Eventually they might get them. I guess as they heal way too much, very much. Imagine being on either one of these ships. See if we can take their integrated devices offline. A little bit anyway. Oh my word! Just still in the 70s there. That 70s show, I guess. Oh, for goodness sake. For goodness sake. I need to rearrange all the things here yet more. I just feel like way too fast.
Shields have failed.
Just look way too long and suddenly everything's gone. We could take out their tractor beams, but they probably wouldn't tear them too quickly, right? Because they're Borg. Pretty much Chimeran Borg. Oh my word, okay. Let's do the processing again. Yep, there we go. Get within 4 kilometers or so. So gotta stay out of that zone a little bit more. So right at 5 kilometers again. Let's keep parts here again. Getting even more damage here now. have other things that I can do as well. So it's getting a little further away. Or it's just not pressing all the buttons as fast as possible ordeal. See if we can try another side. We're at a little further away than either of our ranges, so that's good. And they're just camping as well. But yeah, let's heal up a little bit more. And then let's get right at the edge of the dome. Let's see if their broadside's as good as our broadside. It is. Okay. Or do they have broadside capabilities more? They're still 80% at least. Ah, crap, I didn't need to use that. Whatever, let's just press buttons again. Not sure if this is really doing that much. But yeah, they have purple crap fighting up more, I guess. Are they healing more? They're at 82% at least. Come on, fire more stuff at these things. Come on, go crispy already. They're down to 72% for a moment, so they're not again. Just so crispy already. And let's see here. We have more of these, so let's pop one of those out again. See if we can take down their weapons capabilities a little more. Come on! So it's almost to the 60s. What do they have planned here? Come on, just go already. I guess it's better to get this side so we can help them with having more space so we don't have to angle as narrowly while still being able to make the broadside attacks in the game here in the game. This has nothing to do with real life annoying computers. There the door. Oh, capture avoidable maybe. It's still in the 70s. What the heck? What the heck is it? That? This is just endless stamping. Probably would have a few close words to me as well, but they're robots, so even within the game. 8 seconds for that one or two. So the game overload. 1 and goes. Just go already. But you gotta have a better ship than all the crap otherwise, right? Have different things in the same place or the same things in different places or whatever. Could probably help to have higher damage out from batteries. Again, I spent all those trying to get through the Delta thing. There we go now. More stuff again. Set up, but we're helping shield if I can anyway. We're still in the 70s. I want to fly over them and talk to them, but no, this gets stopped with a super tractor beam again. There would be the health going away, right? Oh, for goodness sake. This thing is annoying me. Compared to owning a tier 6 or some other crap, right? That only would be like another 30 bucks or something, right? Another 30 here, another 20 there, but you can't quite forget it, right? Take this crap off. You line up again. Oh my word. least try one last scraping run with the trap here. If we can get to it, just try to get close and then go to the other side of it perhaps. Come on, stupid trap. Yeah, just rigging. So we're close enough so this actually works. Pretty good anyway. All their fire. Not sure if they have less stuff or more on this side. Yep, we're just here again. Oh my word. Yeah, this is annoying for me. So let's adjust a couple things and keep trying, I guess, until I can't. But yeah, alright. So we're still in red alert, and that's annoying in itself. Let's see here. Unequip, and let's see. Would that be any better? Shield capacity? Maybe, but yeah, I don't know. Alright, back to the sort of fire here. Let's see, the Tetrion thing, we're not getting their shields down, so let's try the Withering Torpedo there instead. Even though we're not really a torpedo ship per se. This only does 399 damage versus 444 if we're angled right. But yeah, let's go with that. And let's see, what 443, and this does a lump sum of 38, 28, but 638 DPS, so yeah, maybe. Alright, there's that stuff. And let's see here. So, hull regeneration, or we could switch to this, which gives more shield capacity. But, in combat, this is probably what's been keeping us alive, though, so maybe not that one as much. Let's see, this one does exotic particle generator. That's, let's see, which one is better of these? Oh, we have this here already. Yep, oh, wait, what? That's a universal. Okay, that could be anywhere. It's equipped on something else here. Where did I put it? Here, okay. So we could get this here, 70% power transfer rate. Ah, yes. That could be good. But yeah, maximum hit points, weapon auxiliary, maximum, okay. So recharge time of torpedoes versus exotic particle generator or control expertise, and if I replace any of those, don't necessarily want it to be the hull regeneration thing, but if we, let's try this. We're outclassed anyway, right? So what's the point anyway? So let's see, R&D, we got a universal thing for that, and we can't build more of these yet, and we can't do much else there. Let's increase the shields thing. So yeah, let's go through later for that anyway. And what do we have here? Reputation. What about Adelaide Niska? What? Alright, let's get that selected next time. And also, I needed to not have so many duplicates. Like, I didn't realize that was both there and there. This has EPS power transfer and intrusive radiation thing. So this is supposed to be a hull thing. Like something auxiliary to structural integrity. That's just this, right? Okay, so not that one. Called trade freighter, track fire, no. It's already bad enough here. Deploy plasma turrets, I already have that. Diversionary tactics, taunt foe while threatening, placates foe while not threatening. I don't know, engineering team, fleet 3, that's already there. Okay. Fleet, okay, maybe that could help. It would be nice to have more help sometime. But yeah, let's see if that'll actually do anything. It's at least something different. So this is all... So that's at least a different thing. I don't know. Hazard emitters. We already have that there. Miraculous repairs. Miser delight. That's useless. Yes, okay. Nadion inversion is there. Ramming speed. Relocate mines. I don't use mines. So rotate shield frequency. That's over here. Okay. Tactical team, we have that there. Stance, Tychon's Rift, okay. I don't see exactly if there's anything particular new here that we need. Just should have figured this out ahead of time before going here, the game. Pretty much. So we could get a trade freighter in the sector space, that's useful, right? For this, indeed, so useful. So the slipstream drive, wonderful. Alright, so, the other inventory things, what's here even? So, yeah, energy credits, how nice, okay. Yeah, let's keep that for now, and I might replace some things later, but let's go make sure we have a full house here, basically all the things, so auxiliary power at least. And more weapons batteries there, those were the same ones, they're large at least, so yeah. Alright, so disruptor satellites, and try the Tetrion ones. No, that won't do much, so more plasma, at least damage over time. So let's see if this works out any better than the other thing. Onward back to its full health, right? Yay, okay. Shift R to close in on this giant space turd thing again. Get within 10k, hopefully only that much, and avoid their tractor beams. The game. Well, let's see if we can get... Okay, there we are. So now...
Is under attack.
Yeah, there's just nothing. Okay.
Right shield's failing.
If it's doing much better, but just keep firing, firing.
Rear shield's failing.
Sure exactly what they're doing. Okay, they're firing crap at me. That's polar on, right? Fire at will again, and they're back to full health already. Because of course they have the same miracle abilities I do. Oh my word. At least the torpedoes provide a lump sum that's a little hard to counter, I guess. We don't have a torpedo increasing ability on the table yet, so won't be good anyway, so... Come on, just go crispy. Again. Crispy. I've done crispy the last few times. Quite good. It's all crispy, right? I think the torpedoes might actually be helping. Perfect, but something. Oh, I wish I kept the Tri-Cobalt one. Oh well. Oh, they're down to 7-4 again for a moment. I'm not going to rush in there with the flight machine yet. That'll be dumb, right? Just go back and find the full health yet again. we're doing some work more than it was before, just a little bit at least. Not perfect yet, but we need to have a super duper T6 at some point, which is just a T5. It's when I got with the iron price rather than the gold price, so it only works as well as it does. I've only been starting to play this game again for the last month. Just, started focusing most on it, but helping with one of my friends making the game. It's about how much it seems to deliver for Uber pretty much. Because the missions really spin in wrong way. But whatever, onward to the come on! Stop not firing! I'm firing! Not them, me. I need more stuff. Okay. I need less stuff, I need more stuff. Okay, let's go. Gotta remember to keep the mouse outside of this zone so I can work more maybe. They keep staying above 70. What the heck? So we keep being able to get them down to that. It's just like they have some ability, or maybe I'm just not getting enough output at work. Come on. This is extra tanky. Tank versus tank. Like, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I can thank you very much. And if I had a cannon, I would fire it. But all we have are these stupid beams and some torpedoes. So it's very, very, very. We put the other things there now, even though they're worse less. The joy. So much joy. And we're still staying at 70. Oh, for goodness sake. We need to have all the better abilities, right? Come on. They're still above 70. What the heck? We can get them down to that by a quarter, but then they're just able to repair right up to it again. Faster than I can damage output. If I get close enough to them, they can get more damage output than me, but that's not something I want. The joy. Getting almost above 80 again. Before we drop them down a little bit. Okay, I'm still firing torpedoes. And there's going to be the last large weapon charge for a bit. This don't work. Oh, the joy of the boss battle. Endless tanking the game. Word. It's so slow at the most, but I can't seem to get them down below 70. So So there must be some kind of ability thing or something, right? Or I'm just not doing the right order, or whatever. There goes the last heavy duty battery there. I just space out for a moment and not use the proper thing, and all the things, and they just go way too fast with the healing up again and again. Oh, good grief. Get them below 70 yet. There's one there for worker going on the shelf. They have the one that goes from here, I think. But it just jumps up and spikes every time. It's not like full health, it's still way too much. We need to go faster. So we need more damage output. Otherwise we have everything upgraded to way more. So, okay, disruptor beams help added damage, absorption relatively, helping us target. Oh, good grief. Come on. Below 70. Onward, let's get out of here. I can't bother with this anymore. What is even the point? Let's try one sweeping pass again with the joy of getting into the tractor beam range. Right, I should have pressed the other thing after we got closer to it, right? There's the tractor beam again. Here we go, going crispy any moment now. Let's see what happens if we start flying into the wormhole too. Probably nothing useful. Is it within flying range, or is it stupid? Come on, let's see what happens. Will we go crispy? This looks like a place to go crispy. This looks like the worst place to be possible in this area. There's plenty of places that are pretty bad otherwise, I'm sure, but no, we're just flying through it. Okay. Well, that apparently happens. Ah well, we can exit the sector. I will try changing things up again because I can't get that. It's just too much. But yeah, there's my attempt at the first portion of this, at least so far. Got a little bit of loot, but not that much, and I can't get their chimeric Borg cube-like thing. So yep, that was a joy already, needing to maximize damage output basically and all the other stuff. So yep, there's, what was it even called? Crucified. Oh, it says there anyway. Phrygia. So, yep, didn't even get that yet. Might try the ground op at some point, but I probably will do better there. I have better gear for the ground. But, yep, can't seem to get it. Sorry if this is too much to watch, but thank you for anyone who's bothered. So, thanks. Try not to go crazy.